So it was always fun. It was exciting. I was still nervous, a little scared, but I handled my own.
Awesome. You proud to be a Cougar too?
Yeah, I was always proud of it.
Awesome.
I'm born and raised. I'm born and raised.
What was the neighborhood like back then?
It's called Beansville back then, so.
Yeah. Right beside Clark and Neal.
Yeah,
sorry.
We played as a team. We learned family oriented back then.
Yeah.
We was always playing as a team, as a unit, as one. When you play with somebody, you play against the same people for years. So when we got to Clovis High, it was just
Which elementary school did you go to?
Wellington Elementary School.
Warriors! Awesome. Brought by downtown Clovis. I love that. Well, it's your name belongs on a blue and gold football map.
Thank you.
You're a very nice young man. Thank you for coming up here on stage and being here tonight. And letting us congratulate you. Thank you. I'm not sure about the order, but we'll find out who's next. Roll that video.
Jason Sasoya was a 3-year starter for Clovis High football. He was a linebacker during his first 2 years and earned the first-team all-conference selection in 1990. In his senior year, Jason made a remarkable transition to quarterback and led the 1991 Cougars to not only conference and valley championships, but to an amazing undefeated season. He established a memorable model for his team by sporting Valley Bound on the back of his helmet, which quickly spread to others. Jason's talent, tenacity, and innate competitive spirit allowed he and his team to carve out a season that was truly one for the history books. Jason was relentless as a quarterback. He rushed for 753 yards and passed for 2,508 yards in only 179 attempts. He set a school record for yards per attempt at 23. His efficiency and effectiveness at the quarterback position were clearly evident as he threw for 26 touchdowns and orchestrated another 19 on the ground. His 45 touchdowns combined for a season that ranked third in Central Section history. After Derek Figueroa's execution of the famous block, taking the 1991 Valley Championship game into overtime, Jason set up his game-winning PAT by running the ball in for a touchdown, bringing every fan in the house to their feet. Jason and his teammates simply electrified the line of the stadium and epitomized our historical adage of never count the Cougars out. Jason's football journey continued overseas in Germany, where he currently resides with his wife, Anne Katrina. Jason played in Germany for 13 seasons for Hanover, Magdeburg, Weyak, Langenfeld, Hildesheim, and Wernigerode. He served in multiple roles as a coach, quarterback, free safety, wide receiver, and defensive end. Athletic honors for Jason Sasoya, the only undefeated starting quarterback in CHS history. Clovis High School record for yards per attempt at 23. Second in school history at 45 combined passing and rushing touchdowns. Second highest single game passing yardage in school history. Tied for third highest completion percentage in school history at 59.8%. And in single year at quarterback, third highest total career yards in school history at 3,261 total yards of offense. Mr. Jason Sasoya.
Now's your chance. Welcome aboard. Here's a mic.
Nice to finally meet you tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. Travel the ways, huh? Awesome. Rewind. Back to that famous touchdown from that year.
Well, I could go back to many games with the total team effort, but a lot of times my defense built our butts off of big interceptions and big fumbles, and got me an opportunity to be back on the field with special players like Taylor Larson, Mike Messer, Keith Poole. And, it was a team effort, but that last play, it goes back to the Hoover game. Kelly Larson ran the wrong way. It was supposed to be a 29 county, and then 28. Where you at, Kelly? Get it right, man. And I just turned it up and kind of fallen into the hole, and the kids turned out to like an 8-yard game. And the Wednesday night, Coach Simons was at home watching film, and he watched that play. And the next Thursday, he put it in at practice because we ran the fly sweep, and we ran the take the fly sweep, pull back patterns, and we're going to have this one. We might run it, we might not. And because of his expertise and defense and the team effort, I got an opportunity to make a great play, and we took it home. Jason Cordero took the extra point, and that was it.
Nothing happens by accident.
It was all thought out.
Yeah.
It was all a process.
Yeah, but it happened long before that because he had to think about it.
Yeah.
And it came to fruition.
Yeah.
It's amazing how things like that work out.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you don't see things coming. Like your junior year, you're playing linebacker, and all of a sudden you end up being this prolific Clovis High quarterback. How does that happen?
Again, Coach Simons and Coach Kellum, I was playing starting defense. I started my sophomore year also linebacker. And my junior year, there'd be a dummy offense and a dummy defense. And so I was going to play the dummy quarterback, and I was throwing 65-yard passes to Gary Giannone and Daniel Guayo and all those guys. And Simons over like, So the next thing is like, you have to play as a linebacker when you try a quarterback, and if it works out, it doesn't have one quarterback to linebacker. And it was like, we're going to be 13-0 Valley champion, and we'll give you that promise. And I shook his hand outside the ring, and you got something else.
Can you, that's an awesome story. Can you imagine too, I mean, being a linebacker, you kind of have to understand the mechanics of a quarterback, and you're looking at that guy's eyes. You know what they're doing. So maybe in the back of your mind, you were already thinking about being a quarterback, indirectly.
Oh, the thing is there's a DNA around this whole area. There's a lineage that happens. And I grew up on Pulaski and Keats. And I watched the fireworks go off, and I was like, one day I'm going to make that happen. Well, I lived in between Coach John Sexton and Frank Hine. He was the 12-1 Valley Championship quarterback. So I was in between both of them. So I was in the 7th grade at Casner, scheduled to go to Clovis West, and I'm living between these two Clovis guys. And Coach Sexton's teaching me plays. We got in Sierra Vista Elementary School, and Frank Hine's out there teaching me how to play football. So I was in between two masterminds, Clovis DNA guys, and that's how it developed.
Yeah.
That metamorphosis, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to look too far.
No.
You just don't
I
have
had
to.
Sexton on the left and Frank on the right, and I was really good.
That's awesome. All right, well, tell us about life now. What's going on with you?
Life's good, I'm healthy, happy. My wife, and between us here from Germany, I've been residing in Germany the last 20 years. I want to give a shout out to my man, Jeff King. Without him, I would not have continued my career in football. He gave me the shirt on his back in Germany and showed me the way. And he did his bit there, and I'm still doing mine. And we're spreading the Clovis DNA around the whole continent. It's a one thing into Europe. Him, Mark Garza, rest in peace, Mark Garza. He died 2 years ago, a great friend of ours. He's an ambassador to Clovis High. We spread around to Europe. Jeff King, Derek Figueroa, Mark Garza, and now myself. And I'm just, I'm a basketball coach now, having a good time.
Awesome. Anything else?
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Excellent choice. Congratulations, sir. If I got my cards right this time around, it might be Ryan Gutierrez on our video screen.
Class of 2000 CHS graduate Ryan Gutierrez holds the unique distinction of being the only player in the history of Clovis High football to start on 2 CIF Valley Championship teams. Ryan played up as a sophomore for the JV team for the 1997 playoffs and earned his way into the starting lineup at free safety. He became an instrumental member of the infamous CHS Road Warriors, whose season culminated in the aptly named Fog Bowl 23-14 upset of Bakersfield High School. Ryan earned a reputation as a deadly tackler, scoring 245 tackles, 141 of them unassisted. As a Cougar, Ryan also intercepted 9 passes and led his team to a 12-1 record that included a legendary CIF Valley Championship 41-0 defeat of Clovis West. The 1997 Cougars earned a number 4 state ranking, number 30 national ranking, and Ryan was named Track Defensive Player of the Year, All Track, All Valley, All Far West by Superbred, and earned the Clovis High Sasano Blanket Award for football that year. After graduation, Ryan attended the University of California at Berkeley and eventually earned a starting role for current Fresno State head coach Jeff Tedford's Bears in his junior and senior years. Ryan started with quarterback Aaron Rodgers and teamed with CUSD graduate Matt Giordano to form a deadly duo in Cal secondary. Ryan's hard-hitting style earned him several big hitter awards as well as defensive player of the game recognition. He earned an All Pac-12 Pac-12 honorable mention in Cal's 2003 52-49 Insight Bowl victory over Virginia Tech. Current Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers was the offensive player of the Insight Bowl, while Ryan was named defensive player of the game. After his years at Cal, Ryan also played for the French Flash European football team. After working for 10 years at Nueva Prep School as an athletic director and counselor, Ryan returned to the Central Valley with his wife, Penny, and their 2 sons. He is currently pursuing a counseling credential while working with at-risk students in CUSD's Transitions program. Honors for Ryan Gutierrez include only Clovis High players to start on 2 CIF Valley Championship teams, 7 Clovis High School varsity letters, 3 in football and 4 in wrestling, Track Defensive Player of the Year in 99, as well as All Track in 98 and 99, All Valley in 99, Super Prep All West in 99, Clovis High Sasano Blanket Award winner in 99, 2-year starter at the University of California, Berkeley in 2002 and 2003. Also a 2003 Insight Bowl Defensive Player of the Game and All Pac-12 honorable mention in 2003. Once again, Mr. Ryan Gutierrez.
Good one's Ryan.
Why don't you take a seat? Let's take a seat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
I'm a coach, so I'm standing way too much.
No problem, I'm old.
You said it, not me.
I got the temples to prove it, pal. You don't. Well, welcome up to this stage. It's been quite a journey to get here. Speaking of journeys, you were a part of the Road Warrior team. It's hard to win on the road, especially when nature steps in and the fog, that menacing mist, shows up in Bakersfield. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's hard to win on the road, but it's not as hard when you got Tim Simons. I mean, we got a pretty good quarterback. Yeah, we had a big. I don't know if he's in the house. I think Dad is somewhere, but we had a quarterback that was pretty darn good. So just to set the stage, I was 140 pound. I mean, when I was wet. Safety sophomore, by the way, who didn't play with the team until we got to that road warrior mentality. And, you know, so you have to understand I was frightened. And I can relate to somebody who was up here earlier who said I was scared to play in the NFL. Multiply that by 10, I was legitimately frightened. So part of it for me, when I got to it was, and I think you noticed tonight, nothing's done in Clovis half speed. I mean, you take a look around at what's going on right now. Nothing's done half speed, and you know that. And so, you know, I think about before the fog bowl, I think about the build-up. You know, it's not really about the game here. It's about, you know, the Thursday night and the build-up leading up to it. So I remember things like cheerleaders making cookies for the players, and, you know, I don't even know if that still happens, but I saw some cheerleaders earlier. But you had rallies with like crazy amount of screaming. You had Thursday night dinner with a badass principal, Dr. Rogers, who should get a round of applause for tonight. For all of you. And my parents, they would help out with this, but you'd have a dinner, like a full-on feed all the guys dinner. It was fantastic, and Cheryl would come in, and Dr. Rogers would come in, and she would say, we'd finish this thing off, we're gonna kick ass and take names, right? So for those of you guys that understand that, I think that build-up I remember most, and then the game is a fog other than the throwing up on my part. Sorry if you're eating before the game, because my parents don't have an issue with that. So for me, you know, imagine, everybody talked about the fog, but just imagine like a smoke machine blowing the whole game, and then you're asked as a 140-pounder to step back there and tackle giants that are running down the field. And, you know, I remember before we went out to the game, I remember Coach Urban, who's a phenomenal coach, who said, he calmed me down, he's got the cowboy hat, so he's a little scary. Coach Urban's still here tonight. I don't know if he's wearing the cowboy hat, but he said, you know, just play. You don't have to do anything special. You know, I don't think he said this, but I thought in my head, you got a big playing quarterback, you'll be all right. We're gonna score some points tonight. And, you know, and you got a leader like Coach Simons who's just calm, and you just feel like you're going to win. So I knew nothing but winning prior to that moment. You know, I didn't have a loss with this team at all. They had just defeated a Ricky Manning-led Edison team. If you know that kid was faster than, and they just defeated that guy, and I was like, oh, we're gonna win Valley, all right. So I think part of the fog, even though it was dense and all the things that everybody talks about, I remember, that's all a blur, the game's a blur, but it's not normal to have all the build-up and all of this, and I think I took all that for granted, right? And I think, yeah, this is not normal to have, you know, 7,000, 8,000 fans in the stadium, have a band. As soon as they strike that beat, you're ready to turn it on. It's not normal. And I came from the Bay Area. I just moved back from the Bay Area, and it's not like that up there. And we get used to that here, and it's, you know, so there you have it.
Well, you're talking about the speed, you know, being at half speed. And then you went on to the University of California, Pac-10. I mean, that's another level too. It's got to be faster and more violent. I mean, what's it like to go to that level and all of a sudden be like, I got to pick it up?
Shoot. When I saw this question, I was just thinking, the first thing that came to mind is, like, it's like living with giants. Like you're in a world of, shoot, Damon was up here. I don't know, he still looks like he plays, like 6'10", 20-some pounds. I don't know where you're at, but gosh dang it, I can't, like, that's who I was going against. So imagine 11 of those guys on the field, and you're 100 and, I don't know, what was I, Dan, 190? Maybe? And you're going against those guys, and then you're in a stadium with 75,000. I remember looking at Matt Giordano, who's a stud Super Bowl champion. We were safeties together. I remember we looked at each other, we had a smile. We had 75,000 in the Coliseum in USC. Your #1 ranked college football team. We're number 5 at the time, going against the #1. And you take a look around, and you just want to puke, because you're like, gosh, dang it, that's a lot of people. And you know, then the next week, that's just like the first week. Then the next week is, you know, you got Steven Jackson, who's 6'3", 265 pounds, and just like he's gonna run at you. You gotta tackle him.
Right.
So I think, you know, you're playing and living what you're with Coach Tedford. Then the next week you're playing against John Harbaugh and his Stanford. Well, I forget the names. They're not very good, but. Then you're playing. Then the next week you're against Dirk Cutter, who is an NFL coach, and his offense. Then the week after that, it's like, well, when do we get a break? And it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
So I think, you know, the way I'd best describe it, I don't know what it's like to play in the NFL, but it's just like living with demons every. I play with a guy named Mark. You have to tackle Marshawn Lynch every day. And then you have to defend balls. We got a quarterback in the house. You have to defend balls against Aaron Rodgers every day. It's like, oh, I don't get a break ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that gives you a little bit of a glimpse.
You answered my question. The tempo go. You got over that vomiting thing, I hope.
No.
Oh, it's early.
Still, I've got a 3rd child It's gonna get nasty.
I tell you, I've seen that footage of that fog bowl so many times being involved in the media. Anytime we have an excuse to bring that out, we do, because that was an interesting game. I'm glad you lived through that, and I want to congratulate you on being such a success in sports and life, and being here tonight with us. We're all celebrating you. Nice football.
Are you gonna ask me if I can add something?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I can go?
You can.
All right. I think one of the things I want to say is I serve a God tonight. I serve a God who placed me. Oh, Joe. Yeah. Then I'll do it.
Hey, Thiessen was almost crying. You're fine.
Yeah, good. If you can do it, I can do it. Right? Who put me amongst giants. I can get through it. I got a brother who beat me up a lot. We used to play football out together in the dirt, and he would tackle me, and my parents let it happen. Like, who does that? And he's older than me, he's always been bigger than me. Then I got grandparents who used to say, "Are you a man or a mouse, Ryan?" So you understand that? I mean, be in situations where I should legitimately be scared and shit. There, my aunt, Marilana, and grandma are like, "Hey, are you a man or are you a mouse?" And I don't get to cry. I have to bow through it, right? So I was placed in a world of giants where, you know, you're with Tim Simons, Coach Erdman, Coach Sexton, Coach Kellum, you know, Coach Wetzel. I mean, they're legends, you're giants, right? Then you're around, you know, guys like Biggs who are slinging the ball, and Lance Ray, and Sean Erickson, Chris Patrick, Clint Walbeck's in the house tonight, state champion wrestler. You're around Lenny McCormick and Chris Sims, who go on with Coach Sims to Fresno State. You're around guys like Steven Spock, who play in the NFL. You're around giants, you know? And I'm just blessed.
Congratulations on slaying some of those giants. You did it. Awesome. Okay, that was awesome. Now it's all about the 1991 undefeated Valley Championship team.
First spot of practice on the back of Jason Sasoya's helmet. They quickly spread to other helmets, to the weight room whiteboard, to the locker room, and into the Friday night football stands. The 1991 Cougars were led by the explosive passing attack of Jason Sasoya to Keith Poole, the best quarterback in the section, who could throw to the top wide receiver in the entire state. The Cougars' passing attack incorporated tight end Mike Metzler, along with Scott Deck, Derek Ferramisco, and Danny Giannone at wide receiver. The offense also included Kelly Larson's hard downhill run at tailback, led by fullback Tom Venus. The O-line was big, physical, and athletic. It featured Chad Mast and Terry Stams at offensive tackles, Corey Westbury and Jason Adair at offensive guard, and Jeff Wright at center, with Mike Metzler and Jason Cordero at tight ends. This remarkable group led the section in offense and scored more points than any team in the 100-plus years of CIF football. The Cougar defense was also rated #1 throughout the 91 season. Their big play defense was well known for dishing out the Cougar flu. Captain Jacob Belmont was joined on the D front by Ryan Nixon, Mike Hawks, Casey Armstrong, and Daryl Martin. Outside linebackers were Elliot Hine, Craig Lingenfelder, and Dan Blankenship. Scott Tafoya, Miles Papich, and Lingenfelder were all big playmakers at the inside linebacker spot. The secondary was comprised of Brent Howard and Derek Figueroa at the corners, with Travis King and Darren Van Doren at safety. J.C. Cordero handled the kicking duties and led a special teams unit that included Dan Hess, Mike Maldonado, Daniel Spock, Mike White, Danny Taylor, Matt Young, Scott Franz, Tony Ramirez, and Bruce Munster, who were also well-versed in dispensing the blue flu. Cordero's extra point sent the 91 Valley Championship game versus Clovis West in overtime. Clovis West scored first, but Figueroa's masterful execution of the block tanked their extra point, returned the ball to the Cougars. Sasoya ran a quarterback option into the end zone to tie the score, and Cordero kicked the legendary extra point to seal the victory, and the rest is history. The 1991 Valley-bound Cougars finished the season as one of only 2 undefeated teams in the history of Clovis football. They won the North Yosemite League Championship, the Yosemite Division CIF Championship, ranked #2 in the state of California, and #16 in the nation, and #1 in the hearts of countless Cougar football fans. What a motto, and what a team. Honors for the 1991 undefeated Valley Championship team include one of only 2 undefeated teams in the history of Clovis football, scored more points than any team in the 100-plus years of CIF football. 1991 Yosemite Division and Valley champions, offense and defense rated #1 in the section throughout the entire 91 season, and ranked #2 in the state and #16 in the nation. The 1991 undefeated Valley Championship team.
We're here tonight, Valley offensive guard Jason Adair, and outside linebacker Scott Tafoya. Come on out there. Who wants the mic first? Okay, good deal. It's good to be undefeated. Yeah, have a seat, guys. Oh, comfy in this living room. What's on TV tonight? I know what's on TV tonight. The Cougars and you. Let's talk about that game and let's talk about your season and what's going on with your lives.
Well, you know, I'm glad, you know, obviously it's worked best to go last because everybody who's been here and talked tonight from every team from the 70s and 80s and 90s and so on, that game, it culminated. And that entire season culminated in that crowd and just that game and the atmosphere and the coaching staff we had and everything for that night and that point and that kick. Still to this day, you know, it's magic. It really is, you know, and everybody has worked hard in Clovis, you know, every team, they know how it goes, the double days and everything, and just, I can remember it started that spring prior, you know, and I was watching Sasoyev out there, and he's playing quarterback all of a sudden, and I think it started in the spring, and they did the passing league, you know, and I'm watching, and I'm going, wait a sec, you know, what's going on here, you know, and I'm watching, and I see Keith Poole out there, and I'm thinking to myself, okay. And by the time the season hit, you know, we were a very confident group, and we knew we had something. And